Here is another cooking lesson. This is a crazy idea your mother's doing. And boys, I'm going to be making a sultana cake, and I'm sorry, you're only going to have the video and the recipe, not the cake. First of all, I am going to weigh out 1 pound of sultanas. Suppose you want this here. You don't want to put this, do you?
So 1 pound, so about 500 grams.
Yeah. You could only eat these if they were boiled. One pot.
1 dog. Oh, Finn. You gonna say hello?
Oh no, just leave them there.
Oh, very confusing to a small black dog. Okay, so the sultanas are in a pot with...
Covered with water. And put on to boil for 8 to 10 minutes. I don't think it matters as long as you boil them.
What, 8 to 10 minutes from cold, or once they start?
Once they start boiling.
Simmer them for 8 to 10 minutes.
And then I get ready to weigh out half a pound of butter. How many grams is that? You can work that out.
Oh, I'm sure the kids are clever enough to figure it out. So half a packet of butter.
No, half a pound.
Oh, half a pound.
You know, when I was a kid, I thought when I grew up, I'd like to go in the factory racking pounds of butter. I was very ambitious. How's that? Exactly half a pound.
Oh, done it before.
Yes, once or twice.
When did you first find this recipe?
Oh, I don't know. I just wouldn't have any idea. But I've thrown it out because I was looking for it the other day to just make sure I had all the ingredients and the weights right, and I couldn't find it, so I'm just relying on memory. Now when the water boils, I'll put that in it. In the meantime, I will go ahead and weigh out the rest of the ingredients. Which...
Hang on, I'm taking a pause now. Oh, am I? Oh no, it's still going. What's happened here?
Okay, which...
Oops.
12 ounces of flour.
Hang on, I've done something peculiar.
12 ounces of flour. Just ordinary flour. I think I might do better if I got my glasses.
Get out.
Yep.
So 12 ounces of flour.
Yes, I've still got another 2 to put on because I find if I'm inclined to put it on like that, it goes overboard. Yeah. Put it in the sifter. And I think it's 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Good, Sue's right.
Okay, I've got it on pause again for a minute. So. Okay, so how old is that tin of baking powder? Or is it just an old tin?
It's an old tin.
It's gorgeous.
I keep, I don't like it in the packet. So this is a tin I've had since the year dot. I can't remember whether it's 1 or 2. Put another half in.
Split the difference. We'll tell you when we see what the cake looks like. So either 1 or 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Yeah.
I may as well leave these out because we're doing the shortbread. Now,
Turn the sultanas down.
and line the tin
Okay.
while I'm waiting.
So you've got a piece of brown paper there that obviously gets reused,
Yes.
and it's cut so that you can fold it around in the tin.
And
And then some butter paper.
if I haven't got butter paper, I use baking paper. But with having no grandchildren at home and not baking, I've got plenty of butter papers. When Jeanette was doing my lip today, or my nose, she kept asking me about my grandchildren. Have you ever tried talking while somebody's poking stuff?
I would imagine it was pretty inconsiderate of her to be asking questions as she's filling you up with local anaesthetic.
No, well, I think she was trying to keep her mind off what she was doing. But don't you think it looks pretty?
Oh, here we go. This is today's surgery. Turn around. Let's have a look at your white moustache and your nose stripe. Yes, very good. We were going to do this before the trip to the doctor, but didn't quite work out like that.
Now, I will weigh out, I don't want it yet, the caster sugar. Using my nice scissors that I bought at Gun Wharf the day Kate and Sue and you and I went shopping.
Ah,
And they're great. And this is also 12 ounces. I haven't got one of your flash gadgets, so I just keep my fingers done up with rubber bands.
so we do a pause now while we wait for the sultanas.
Yes, that would be a good idea. Oh.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
Sultanas are now ready, so I pick them through a sieve, let them drain off a bit, put the cut up butter. Dog, I can manage much better without you. In the pot, put the drained sultanas back in.
And the heat of the sultanas will just melt the butter.
Melt the butter. And it certainly beats eating it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, while that is doing, I'm going to break into my
Antique.
very antique cake mixer. Sounds like a chaff cutter. I'll break in 3 eggs. Bet these are just going in a cake. They've got all little bits in them.
What, not bits of shell?
No,
Oh, yeah.
I think the eggs might have been too big for the chooks and they're ruptured. I will add the caster sugar. And beat it till it's nice and creamy. Come on. And wouldn't that be awful? You'd have to stand there and use your hand one. Yeah. Now I'll put the oven on.
So
180, which I got mixed up when I was doing the yo-yos.
180 centigrade. Okay.
I don't think you should be in the kitchen while we're baking.
Might be time for a boy to go home.
Teaspoon ready. See?
You're a huge help, you are. Yes.
Now, have a look at that. And they were big eggs, so I'm only going to put 3 in. That's what the recipe says. But sometimes if they're small eggs, I will put a 4th one in. We'll trust to luck and think that's enough. Now, I put a little bit of flour in. Somebody asked me once why I did this, and I think it's so that the sultanas don't go to the bottom. You know, sometimes you get a cake and all the sultanas are on the bottom. I read it in a book once somewhere that if you do that, put a little bit of flour in first, they don't. So it works for me, so I keep doing it. Now that that's mixed in, we'll put the sultanas and the butter in.
And during the break, we figured out that these started being made in Hamilton about 30 years ago as a fundraiser for the church. Made at least 3 a week and sold for up to $10 each.
And that's 30 years ago, so you can imagine. Hello Tony, have you come for a lesson?
Oh, you found it? Where was it?
It was in my... We must have left it in the camper van or put it in the camper van when we went away or something.
Yeah, I had a funny feeling it was something to do with being in your laptop bag or something. Thank you.
So you got enough on that?
Yep, yeah, this one looks like it's full. PowerPoint.
This one here.
This one on the stove? Oh, yeah, no, we'll be all right with this one for now.
Well, it's always better in charge and you don't get into the sticky position you've got at the moment.
So we've added the butter and the sultanas.
And I keep stirring it in until all that greasy looking butter goes before I start adding the flour. It's nice and sloppy. Now it's ready for the flour and
When do the essences go in?
last.
Okay.
You thought I'd forgotten them.
Oh, did wonder. So the flour gets sifted in bits.
Bits.
The camera bag over there.
It's turning it over rather than stirring it. If you can get the difference.
Okay. So folding in the flour.
Yes.
Not beating it in like you did with the butter and the sultanas.
That's right. Move over, Nigella. At least I don't lick my fingers as often as she does.
She just does that to try and look sexy, I'm sure of it.
Now if that gets too thick looking, and I feel as though I should have had another egg in it, I'll just put a little bit of milk.
Okay, so at this stage you're thinking that maybe you needed 3.5 eggs.
Yes.
Okay, so you can see it's getting a bit heavy there, so maybe we're going to put in a teeny bit of milk. Oh,
No, it's not too bad.
looks good.
Tongue hanging out yet, Christopher? No, I think that'll be fine.
Essences.
Thank you.
I remember that these got forgotten once.
Yes, but still you can always whip them out of the oven as long as it hasn't been in for too long.
So, vanilla essence,
Well,
1 teaspoon.
Mrs. Medill told me once that this is called LAV. L-A-V. Lemon, almond and vanilla. And fancy Mrs. Medill saying that, who was so straight-laced and wouldn't have said damn for sixpence. Teaspoon of each. That's the vanilla, the almond and the lemon. Different bottles councils are using these days.
Oh, Christopher, you're lucky you can't smell this. Mmm.
There. Oh yes, I'm glad I didn't put the milk in. Definitely doesn't need it. Most people do all this with the beater. Perhaps that's why mine are always better, because I do them by hand.
Yeah. Got another flashing light on here, so we might have to have another technical stop, but...
Well, we're nearly ready to go in the oven anyway.
So this just goes into the tin and then into the oven for how long?
An hour and 3/4.
An hour and 3/4. Do you
And-
sometimes have to cover the top?
I do cover it for a little while, and my wrist
Yeah. I'm
Yes.
going to turn this off and give you a hand.
finding this difficult.